All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? We live right now. Let's see. Let people stroll in here. What's up, fam? How we doing? All right, there we go. Let me edit this real quick. The name of the stream offline. We're not online right now? And what else we could talk about? Okay. Des Moines Register. All right. Douchebags. All right. All right, we got everyone. Let's do this. Let me just go ahead first. Actually, let me share this on Facebook first, and then we'll do it. What's up, Turtle Riders? You know how this is. Someday I'm going to figure out how to, like, I'm not doing the microphone tonight, by the way. Can you guys hear me? How's the sound? All right. Can you guys hear me? How's this thing? Okay, you can. All right. Great sound. The hell? But I'm not even using the mic. I'm using the computer mic. So you're saying there's no difference? Interesting. All right. All right, let me go ahead right here and share it up. Come on. We live. All right, let's do it. We got some fun stuff to talk about tonight, so let me make sure this. I mean, no input. Testing 1, 2. That works. All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? How are y'all doing? The hell, where'd it go? Oh, I just got rid of that wrong thing. Okay. Come on. All right, what's up, Turtle Riders? Happy Thursday to y'all. Welcome to the Turtleboy live show. For you podcast people, hopefully the audio comes in better because the audio sucked last time because basically we were experimenting with the microphone, guys, and an external microphone for the first time. You gotta be fucking kidding me! Wait 1 second. I don't want your fucking ad. Skip the ad. Turn the volume off. All right, there we go. What the hell's going on over here? All right, so last time the podcast did not work because there's no sound on it. You could hear me, you just couldn't hear Brett or anything because it was not picking up the mic on the computer. So in case we have any call-ins tonight or anything like that, I want to have it up and working, so that's that. All right, so let's talk about some things first. First things first, I did have court today and yesterday. I really hate it. So I'd much rather go west than go east. It's same distance to Springfield as it is to Boston. Boston's probably a little closer, actually, from where I live, right? And I had to go yesterday for Ryan Waters in Springfield, and it's such a better drive than going to Boston. I don't know how you people commute east to west in the morning. I'd much rather kill myself, right? We're supposed to live like less than an hour from Boston. But Brookline is the most shady, where the court was today, is the most shady, kind of hard to get place in the world. There's no easy way to get to Brookline for whatever reason. You're going through the ass crack of Boston or Newton, no matter what to get there. There's no Pike exit near Brookline. It sucks. So, I gave myself like an hour and a half to get there, not enough time. So I was like half an hour late, and you got to go, there's freaking traffic the entire time, guys. How do people deal with it? What the fuck is going on with this? Is this going to happen the whole show? Is this going to happen the whole show? I'm going to have to keep doing that? All right. Yeah. So, I swear to fucking God, if this keeps fucking doing this, guys, I'm going to kill myself. Anyway, not really, but just to get there was a pain in the ass enough as it is. So you finally get to the courthouse, and Charlotte is there, all right? So Charlotte McFarland, if you're not familiar, this woman is complete psychopath. She took out a restraining order against me in early March, right? That we had a hearing for it. I trudged down there with my kids. I had never spoken to this woman before. I had never messaged her before. I had never written about her before. This restraining order out of me, doesn't get it. The assistant district attorney, Margaret Hegarty, then threatens me in front of my kids, and that's when I'm like, okay, so I got to research this Charlotte person now, and it turns out, oh yeah, she's been posting death threats against me for quite some time. I bring them to Leominster District Court. I get a harassment order against her. She could not get one against me. I got one against her. And then we start filing criminal charges against her. Now, evidently, the Worcester District Attorney's Office sent the freaking papers to the wrong house. So she didn't show up for the hearing. It was dismissed. However, the charges are being refiled. It's just a pain in the ass, right? It's just the incompetence in this state knows no bounds. It's like, what? You had the wrong address, so they're dismissed? The hell? So she took this as like a green light to like refile for another harassment order against me. Keep in mind, I've never contacted this woman in my life, ever. And in court, we're the first ones called up. And this chick is crazy, dude. She's wearing like a bucket hat. She just looks like a lunatic up there. And I'm sitting there, and she's doing most of the talking because this judge is asking her, like, she's like, oh yeah, he's been threatening me, threatening to kill me, him and his followers. He directs his followers to threaten my life, and I'm in danger, this and that. Okay, first of all, you are the one who threatened to literally burn my house down with a Molotov cocktail, and you work with fire. I got a restraining order against you. You didn't get one against me. So this is ridiculous. And it's just looking at this judge, listening to her, it's like, just, you can't tell this chick is crazy. So he's like, what evidence do you have? So she's got 5 million printouts of blogs. They're highlighted. And it's like the blogs about her, which aren't, just told the story about what happened. Nothing inappropriate in there. And the judge is like, where's the threats? Do you have them? Yes, I have them. So she hands him like this packet of whatever, screenshots. And it's like comments from Turtle Riders. And he goes, well, some of these comments from Brett Killoran are certainly disturbing, but I don't see anything in here from Mr. Carney. Now, it's not to hate on Brett or anything. This has already been litigated like 6 months ago. Brett had a restraining order taken out against him by her. It got dropped as well. So all she's doing, essentially, is just using the courts to harass me, right? Why does this matter? Well, we'll see. Because the judge, the mere fact that he's even listening to her and humoring her and going through it, I just want to make it perfectly clear. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, and it sucks that you have to, but like, we don't condone anybody threatening people we blog about. Obviously. The things that appear in the comments, guys, we have no control over that. I have, Section CDA, the Communications Decency Act, Section 230 specifically exempts publishers like ourselves from being responsible for content that appears on our site, right? So for third-party content. So if you leave a comment and you're like, she should die, something like that, we condemn that. Absolutely, we do not condone that. However, we can't stop you, and your comments do not reflect upon us. We have no affiliation. And that goes without saying, and that's what the judge should have said to her, but it didn't happen, right? Now, because she had nothing that I had, and I told the judge, I'm like, look, this is her way of harassing me. The fact that I'm here right now, the fact that I had to drive 2 hours, the whole time I'm sitting in traffic in freaking Wellesley, in Newton, in Framingham, in Natick, sitting there, going nowhere. I'm like, I should be working right now. This is what I'm fucking doing. For what? For who? For this random lunatic chick who I have a harassment order against? I'm like giving up all this time. Why? Why am I doing this? Why is this allowed? Why are our courts put this way? Keep in mind, I'm also a victim of this chick. I hate to use that word, but I'm literally a victim of this chick. That's why this criminal charge is pending against her. Because she fucking victimized me, guys. Like, she threatened to burn my house down. That caused issues here. Okay? I don't need to panic my family over this. Right? So, I don't know what this chick's capable of, quite frankly. She's the kind of person that seems crazy enough to do it. So, it gets better. So, I tell the judge this. I'm like, the fact that I have to stand so close to this individual after all the things that they've done to me and all the things that they've put me through, that's wrong. The court shouldn't be like, this is a form of harassment. So, they made it clear, right? The judge made it clear to her that technically she has the right to keep doing this indefinitely. However, if he wants to, he can go to he can go to the police with this. And the police might consider this an example of harassment, of you violating the restraining order. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, Charlotte. So I'm sure you're listening to this. All right. So now it's her turn. And she's just complaining about turtle riders and all this stuff. And the judge is just like, he goes, I asked you for threats of that he said to you. You gave me a stack of it. I read through all of them. There isn't a single threat here that he made against you. Not one. Do you have that? And she's like, no. Your Honor, I think he's using fake names and directing people, and the judge just cut her off. He's like, no. That's not what we're doing here. I mean, it's like, give me a break. Like, I give a shit about this chick. I'm going to threaten her. I don't threaten anyone. So, it gets denied. The judge obviously denies it, right? And he kind of acted like, I hadn't spoken yet by the time he denied it. And I'm like, Your Honor, can I say something? I wanted to talk about, like, the restraining order. He's like, you probably should listen to this because we will be... it's getting denied, so you might want to not talk. It's like he was doing me a favor by not. It's like no, bitch. This is your job, and I can't stand. Judges in this state think they're freaking kings, and they are kings essentially. They get appointed to this job, and they have no oversight whatsoever, unless you attempt to, actually hold criminals accountable like Judge Sinat, and then you get in trouble. So this judge is acting like he did me a favor by, not going through with the restraining order. It's like, no, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not cutting me a break here. You can't possibly your only option was to not give her a restraining order. So enough with that nonsense. And he's like talking, lecturing her about it. And, towards the end, I'm like, he said something like, you two should just not talk. You guys should not communicate. You guys should just, I would suggest that, whatever. I'm like, I've never talked to her before. I'm like, but Your Honor, I'm like, I have a right. I'm like, this whole thing, this is what I do for a living. I write about, and then he cut me off and he's like, I've read some of your blogs and I believe a lot of them cross a line. He actually said that. I'm like, what blog crosses a line? He couldn't say, he couldn't do anything. And that pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Even though he's ruling in my favor, it's like, No, bitch. You don't know. If you think that we cross a line, then you don't read Turtleboy. Okay? Maybe some commenters cross a line, certainly. But we don't, the publisher does not cross a line. So don't sit here, like he was acting like this is like a two-part thing. Like, well, you're doing this and then she's doing this. Why don't you guys just stop talking about each other? It's like, because we talk about, you have no right to tell me what I can and cannot talk about. I'm not doing anything wrong here. Nothing. I've done nothing even remotely close to being wrong here, because that's what she wanted. She wanted the blogs to come down, all this stuff. And I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And she's whining about being on disability, and they're trying to take me off of disability, and they're calling this. It's like all this shit's like none of this happening. None of this. Stop it. Towards the end, right after that, she freaks out at the judge, guys. Freaks out at him. Like, and she starts going, she raises her voice, and she starts almost screaming to the judge. She says, Your Honor! She goes, do you understand? Do you understand how in danger I am right now? Do you understand when he misgenders me that all of these the transgender people kill themselves every single day? Oh, enough of that shit, guys. Enough of that. Enough of the You know why transgender people kill themselves at high rates, guys? Because transgenderism is a mental illness. That's the fact of the matter. Enough of this nonsense, okay? You're a guy who thinks you're a chick, not Charlotte. I guess Charlotte is actually a chick who thinks she's a chick, but she's still gender something. I don't even freaking know. It's because people like Charlotte, like, have you noticed that? The people that struggle with, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, they're all crazy. You never see a sane transgender person. That doesn't happen. So she's freaking out at the judge, yelling at him, screaming, saying, do you understand? And then the bailiff just got me the hell out of it. I felt like it was unresolved because it's like, but at least he got to see that side of her. Maybe it made him think, right? And he goes, I'm going to keep doing this. She told the judge, I'm going to keep doing this. If he writes about me again, I will do it again. Well, guess what, Charlotte? We're going to write about you. And if you file another harassment order, I'm going to the police. And that is because the judge told you today, if you keep doing this, it's a crime. You're violating the restraining order. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I don't know if you have any questions about that. I'll answer them in a moment. Let me talk about the second thing, right? And that is what I had yesterday, Court with Ryan, which was even crazier. I talked about it on the live feed, but I can't stop. Oh my goodness. The fact that I just had to give up 2 days of production running my business for these lunatics, right? One's a lunatic and one's a sociopath, right? Charlotte's the lunatic. Ryan Waters is a sociopath, complete sociopath. Is the most garbage person I've ever seen. So I get to the courthouse and I walk in and I see him there, and I'm like, I can say whatever I want to him right now. This is great. So I saw him down the hall. I said, there he is, the dog killing, woman beating piece of shit. And it felt so good, guys. It felt so good. Because I wanted to say that to his face for so long. I've said it in writing a million times. But to say it to his face and have him not be it, he tried walking away, right? He walked to the other end, goes, whatever, I'm not going to talk about this. I didn't do anything. Yeah, you did. You fucking killed dogs, dude. And you beat women. And that's all we should say to this guy. That's the only thing that matters about him. I will never treat Ryan Waters like an actual contributing member of society, right? That is deserving of anything except being treated like an animal. Because Ryan Waters has no humanity. He is an animal. Capability in you mentally to hit a woman like that. Like Samantha Cardin. Her eyes, man, were covered. I mean, those were hard punches. Not that hard because Ryan's a pussy, but as hard as he can punch. To kill a dog, too. To step on a dog's back because you're angry. God, I mean, think how animalistic you have to be to do something like that. And so just the fact that I have to miss freaking work to deal with this douche, this evil animal, this savage, right? Who just, at least like other savages, you look at him and you're like, okay, this guy is just fucking nuts, right? This guy is a psychopath. he kills dogs and beats women. That's what I expect. No, but Ryan looks like just a fucking little pussy, right? That's all he looks like. And he's sitting like, you're like, God, this guy did, like, I look at him like, you did all that? Man, what a freaking douchebag. Unemployed, like everything about him is awful. He's unemployed, refuses to get a job, blames it on other people, me mostly. He says he can't get a job because of the blogs, right? He says, and he hypes himself up too. Everything was to the magistrate was, well, Your Honor, I had, I don't forget what we call it, Your Majesty or something, the clerk magistrate. And he's telling her, hey, Miss Clerk, I was supposed to make $5,000 that day, but I couldn't. It was my first day at the new job, and I couldn't do it because of him, right? And I'm writing down everything he says because I get to ask questions too. And I'm just going to catch him in lies. So I'm like, what's the job? What was the job? Doesn't know. What was the, what other lie? He had a bunch of lies he told, and I questioned about it. Oh, he said he went to the doctor. He couldn't work because he got a disorder because of me, right? Turtle disorder or whatever. And he couldn't get work because of that. But he has all these job offers. He's the kind of guy that kind of has to point out. He's like Gaffney. They're the same thing. That has to point out, guys, that he's winning, right? That life is going perfectly. He's making all this money playing poker. He's the cat's ass. And he has to throw that into everything, right? I was making money playing poker doing this, and then he interrupted me with an email, and then he owes me money for that too. Because I'm such a winner. I just have life by the balls. I'm Ryan Waters. So, I'm sitting there, listening to this, and I'm writing down questions. And I asked him, I said, who's your doctor? Where's their office? And who pays for your health insurance? And can I see the documentation? Of course, he doesn't have that. He doesn't know who the doctor is because he hasn't. He lied, but he's lying about all this. Obviously, he doesn't have a disorder, and I just call him out on it. He's got nothing. I'm surprised the magistrate didn't make a ruling on that day that they need. Maybe that's just practice that they need to look this over, but it should have been dismissed on the spot because it's patently absurd. And this guy, there's a bail. It was just me and him in the courtroom. And they actually played out loud. He played out loud the podcast of me and Brett. Oh my God, there's so much profanity in it. Just sitting in the courtroom, listening to Brett lingo, and looking at watching the bailiff's face. Brett's voice is just, I'll spittoon you, and whatever the hell Brett usually saying. I said in the thing, I'm like, just to let you know, Ryan Waters, we are going to murder you with words. Not like literally murder you. We're going to murder you with words. And he's like, that's a threat, Your Honor. I'm like, you clearly heard him there. He said it's not actually murder. It's figurative. And we have killed him with words. Our words have destroyed and exposed this man, as it should be. Ryan Waters deserves to die destitute, right? Obviously, he should die of whatever causes, not anything unnatural, right? No one should kill him or anything like that. But certainly, the day Ryan Waters dies, it will be such a great day. And I wanted him to know that, right? You are worthless. Like, your life, all you've done in your entire existence is hurt women and kill dogs. That's it. Nothing else matters. You've contributed nothing, right? You take, because you're on mass health, right? We pay for your health care. You take up the court's time. You take up my time. You're an animal, right? The day you take your last breath will be a great day for everyone, right? And I don't want you to die necessarily in that. I'm not going to hurt you or anything like that. But if you died tomorrow, oh my God, we would throw a party, dude. And the best part is, no one would miss you. That's the thing. Nobody would miss you because you're unloved. You have no love in your life. And I kind of feel bad for you in that regard. But at the same time, you're unworthy of love. Like, why should anybody love you? What have you done besides kill dogs and beat women? I don't know. So, And I made sure to point that out to the judge, or the clerk, whatever. I said, we are passionate about exposing domestic abusers. And the man sitting right here, he kills dogs and he beats women. And I said, were you arrested, Ryan, for this? Yes. Okay. He starts rambling on. It's a yes or no question. So you were arrested for this. You were charged with this. Interesting. Did you kill the dog? No, I didn't. Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to enter something into evidence. I had evidence too. I got emails, Ryan, from the veterinarian who did the post-mortem exam on the dog, on Luna. Yeah, you didn't know about that, Ryan, did you? Yeah, I was communicating with the vet the whole time. And she had communicated with me initially a little over a year ago when Ryan, he was on trial. Oh, thank you to whoever donated there. When Ryan was on trial and the charges were dropped, this woman became upset because the veterinarian, because she did the post-mortem exam, and in her professional opinion, he killed her. Thank you guys for those donations. I appreciate that. In his professional opinion, he killed her. So it is what it is. It was cool. Oh, the best part about court. I actually enjoyed being with Ryan for a little bit because it was fun. It was very satisfying. Being with Charlotte sucked. It's just a waste of time. But being with Ryan was fun because I just got to tell him everything on my mind. And then he asks, guys, this is so hilarious. He asks about, one of his questions to me is, why was I in the Ratchet Madness tournament? Oh my God, he asked that in a court of law. He submitted memes into evidence that were labeled plaintiff witness. He said that Gaffney and Samantha were his witnesses, but he could not bring them there because he cared about them too much and he did not want them to get hurt because I would hurt them. That was his excuse. In reality, Gaffney gave up on him. Gaffney wrote his affidavit for him and then he was done. He ditched him. And he lives in wherever. He's not going to come up for this anymore. He's done. Gaffney's done. And the other one, Samantha, is obviously hates him. Samantha's on our side. Samantha's a good person. She's a victim of domestic violence, and we defended her. I also, my lawyer helped her out too. So obviously, she's not going to be a witness for him. She would be a witness for me. But anyway, back to the Ratchet Madness thing. So he asks about this, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Christmas. I can say I can explain Ratchet Madness in a court of law. Oh, thank you. So first of all, Your Majesty, we have to define what Ratchet is. And I would define Ratchet as somebody who exhibits uncivil or criminal behavior and sees nothing wrong with it, right? I think that's a big part of being a Ratchet is because a lot of people break the law, right? But it's the people who know that they're breaking the law who aren't really as Ratchet. It's the people who think there's nothing wrong with it that really makes them Ratchet. See what I'm saying? They don't know any better almost. They're Ratchet. So, I say that, and I say, look, so here's how the tournament works. So Ratchet Madness works. We take all the Ratchets, and we rank them, right? Top ones being the 1 seeds, all the way down to 16 seeds. Then we set up a big tournament like March Madness, right? Where the 1s play the 16s, the 2 plays the 15s, etc. And Turtle Riders vote on who should advance in each racket. Now, Ryan was a 2 seed. There was some debate about him being a 1 seed. There was some debate there, okay? However, there was another guy, Michael Cadena, right? And another guy, Michael Gaffney, who were like right on the line. So we had to make a judgment call. This is happening in a court of law. I'm explaining how we seed in Ratchet Madness. Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate that. And everyone else. And Brittany for donating. Appreciate that. So this is how we seed. All right? And Ryan got a 2 seed. However, Ryan was the champion. Ryan won the whole thing because Turtle Riders voted him in each round. And he won. There wasn't even a round where Ryan Waters was really that close. He joins such legends as Didi Delgado, Trashley Lasapiho, and the Fall River Gutter Muppet, right, as finalists in Ratchet Madness. I mean, I got to say all this in court. I said Gutter Muppet in court. It was great. So Ryan then asks me, and this is my favorite part. Ryan asks me, well, why was I eligible for this year? if the criteria was that you had to have done something Ratchet in the last year, I allegedly committed this crime in 2017, but Ratchet Madness was for 2018 and 2019. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. This was an objection in a criminal court. We were debating whether or not he should have been in Ratchet Madness 2018 or Ratchet Madness 2017. This took place. Good Lord. Good Lord. I don't even know if there was a stenographer there. I didn't see anyone else in the room. So I said, look here. I go, that's a fair point, Ryan. That's a fair point. However, this is my argument, is that you filed the lawsuit against not only me, but you also filed a lawsuit against Samantha, who you were arrested for abusing. You beat her up. That's not negotiable. The police said that you did that, so you did it. So that in and of itself, Ryan, suing a woman that you beat, that's pretty ratchet, Ryan. Filing a lawsuit and teaming up with another Ratchet by Mike Gaffney, that's pretty ratchet, Ryan. So I go, I'm sorry you got a 2 seed. In hindsight, you probably should have been a 1. That's the only part I messed up, but you were definitely eligible for that. So that was that whole thing. All right, so I just want to talk real quick, guys, enough about court. I want to talk about real quick about the Moines Register story that I've never been so angry at a story, and it's everything that is wrong with the media today, and I hate it. The most accurate thing Donald Trump has ever said in his life, because he lies a lot. I don't know if you guys know that. He lies a lot. And he exaggerates a lot. But the one thing that he gets right more than anyone is that the mainstream media is the enemy of the American people. They are. And I know they clutch their pearls and they cry about taking down the institution and people don't... Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't trust you people. You're liars. And not only are you liars and fake news, you're also kind of evil. We saw that with Covington, right? When they went after those children, those freaking children, they went after them, right? Why? Because they were wearing MAGA hats. That was it. That was the only reason they went after those kids. If they weren't wearing MAGA hats, that never would have been a story. But they punished them. Kids. And another thing that they do a lot, which we saw in this Des Moines story, is when somebody becomes famous for something, or they are aligned to do something big, like Kevin Hart, who's supposed to hold the Oscars. Nice thing, right? What do? They just go through his old tweets. That's what they do now. They go through your old tweets, your old social media posts, and they find gay jokes he made in 2010 and 2011 when it was okay to make gay jokes like that. Right? He apologizes. It's not enough. They don't let him come back. And they do this. It's one thing if you do that to Kevin Hart, which is just such a scummy move because we should not be responsible for things that we used to say. I'm just going to say it right now. When I was in high school, 16, 17, I said a lot of racist shit. I don't care. I wasn't an N-word guy because that's not funny, but I said a shit ton of racist jokes, right? Holocaust jokes, Irish jokes, Italian jokes, black jokes, Puerto Rican jokes, all jokes, Asian jokes. And guess what? We all said them, right? I went to South High School. It's diverse. I said black jokes in front of black people to their face. And you know what the black kids did? Right? Because we're all one big happy family at South High. We all got along. We're all in the same teams, in the same classes, right? They know I'm not a racist. They would always, the black kids at South High School, right? They liked me. The Asians loved me. But the black kids liked me a lot too. And they used to always say, oh, that white boy crazy. That boy crazy right there. That boy got some big balls. I did at the time. I had a hernia at the time. And, in the locker room, when you got big balls, you whip them out. That's just what you do, right? So I used to whip them out all the time. It was like a freak show. And that's like the black kids, for whatever reason, respected me for that. They'd be like, oh, that boy got some big balls. So anyway, I could tell them a joke to their face, right? And they know I don't hate you. I'm not racist against you. It's just a freaking joke. I'm making a joke. It's all it is, a joke, right? I'm not pro-Holocaust, but I've made Holocaust jokes before. And if you don't like me because of that, or you want to cancel me because of that, then fuck off because I don't like you anyway and we don't want you here. You're not my type, okay? Enough of this nonsense. I mean, why can't we just assume that jokes are jokes? Why can't we assume that people are good-hearted, right? Because they tweeted something, we have to assume that's representative of how they actually feel? Give me a break. Now it's become fashionable, right? And I bring up my 16-year-old life because this is what they do now, right? We saw it last year with Josh Hader on the Milwaukee Brewers when he made the All-Star team. What'd they do? They went through his tweets and they found he used the N-word when he was 16 a bunch on Twitter, right? We've seen it with Kyler Murray. He wins the Heisman Trophy Award the day before the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Some reporter from the USA Today goes through his old tweets, finds offensive things he said about gay people or something. Why? Why are you trying to ruin people, right? What purpose does this serve? How does this help improve society, right? What are you hoping to achieve here? He won the Heisman. What are you trying to take it away from? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do here? What are we trying to accomplish? You just want to feel good about yourself because you found, you're pointing this out, you're woke? No. So you said some shit when you were 16, who cares? Guess what, guys? I got news flash for you. 16-year-old boys try to be edgy just for the purpose of being edgy. It's a secret, I have to tell you guys. That's just what boys do at that age, right? They're just what? My mom's not around? My teacher's not around? Ooh. Pussy, dick, fart, faggot, anything you want. Just go through all the racial slurs. Slut. Just say them all. That's what we did. It was immature. It was stupid. But it's not. It doesn't define us forever. It's just stupid shit you said when you were a kid. So, this kid, and so the people they've gone after, you want to go after Kyler Murray? Whatever. Kevin Hart? Whatever. They're both going to be rich anyway. But this story out of Des Moines, right? When this kid from Iowa, there he is right there, Carson King, he's at college game day, and he's holding up a sign that says, what did it say? Busch Light Supply needs replenishing. Venmo, whatever. So college game day, they go to one game a week, whatever's going to be a big one. It was Iowa State that week, and college kids they do a whole pregame show, and the college kids all bring funny signs, and that's a funny sign. $38,000 he made off of that in one day. It's holy shit. Now, he could have just kept it all. I would have kept it all, I'm not going to lie. But Carson King is a nice Midwestern boy who decides that he is going to donate it all to Children's Hospital. This inspires Busch Light, since he's drinking their cheap, crappy beer, to jump on board. And they all donate, right? And Venmo matches it. And now they've raised $1.7 million for a hospital for sick kids. What a great thing. What an awesome thing. I mean, I've never heard something. This kid's like a saint. Because he could have kept it. I can't emphasize that enough. He could have kept it. And what a nice kid, right? This is something we should be celebrating. The news is negative all the time. We should be celebrating this. And what does his local newspaper do, the Des Moines Register? They go through his old tweets until they find something. He retweeted Tosh.0 or something. It was something that was an obvious joke from when he was 16, guys. It was 2012, 16 years old. What purpose does this serve? What are you trying to do? And their argument was, well, and this is the actual letter they put out justifying this awfulness, right? They said here that he did a routine background check on King, the reporter. Routine. Why is that routine? The fact that that's quote unquote routine is in of itself the problem. Why is this a routine thing? Why is step one of journalism is go through their tweets? Why? What do you learn from that? How does that advance the story? Right? Unless at some point in one of those tweets he said, if he had said, well, I'm going to donate $1.7 million, but none of it can go to black kids. None of it. That's when you go through his tweets. But he didn't do that. And so what are you trying to do here? What are we hoping to accomplish with this? So you found out he said some racist shit when he was 16. All you're doing now, all they're doing this is because they want you to repent. They get off on this. They're evil. These people are evil. There's no other way around this. It takes a deranged, evil person to do something like this. And it takes a deranged, and it's not just him, it's the media, it's the institution, right? His newspaper backed him up. There was an editorial meeting about this. They said this. This is not just one rogue reporter. This kid was doing what he was trained to do, this reporter, right? And they go on to say that this is part of their job. Calvin asked King about them. You know what you do in that situation? If for whatever reason you get to this point, which you shouldn't, you just go up to him and you say, hey, I found these tweets. Just to let you know, other people are going to come going through your tweets too. Just you might want to delete them. Give them a heads up, you know? That's what a decent person would do. Not the Des Moines Register, though. They're looking for clicks, right? They're looking for clicks. He goes on to say that... What'd they say? This shouldn't... just read this paragraph. Should that material be included in the profile at all? The jokes were inappropriate and were public posts. Shouldn't that be acknowledged to all the people who had donated money? Why? Why would you, if you had donated $1,000 for sick kids, would you care that the guy rallying you to donate that, are you going to want it back? Nah, fuck those kids. Fuck them. You know why? Because the kid that inspired me to donate to the sick kids said something racist when he was 16. I mean, the tone deafness guys, these people control the narrative. That's scary, right? And we see it in Washington with all this bullshit, right? What's going on now with Trump and the madness of this all. Like, what the? You can't trust a freaking word they're saying because this is how they all think. Every single media outlet in the country would have done this. There isn't a single one that wouldn't have. They're disgusting. They are the enemy of the people. That is the most accurate thing Donald Trump has ever said. Enemy of the people. They have no intention of writing anything good about anyone. They seek to search and destroy. That is the only thing the media wants to do. And that is why you come to Turtleboy. Do we destroy people? Yes, terrible people. Terrible people. We would never destroy someone like Carson King or Kyler Murray or Kevin Hart or Josh Hader. We don't destroy people like that. We destroy awful people like Ryan Waters, right? He deserves it. Where's the media on that? Where's the media on Hadassah? Anybody going to write about that besides us? Guess not. Guess not. Fuck them. These people are the enemy of the American people. Just fucking say it. It feels so good. It feels so good to say it. Because that's what they are. I'm looking at this face. Those are the faces of pure evil right there. Pure evil. Fuck them. And guess what? It blew up in their face because he had written a bunch of racist shit too. Right? It turns out he had tweeted out, I think they're on the other blog, but he had tweeted out all this stuff about, the N-word and all this other crap. And now his account's private. And now he's under fucking died destitute because you deserve it. I hope this was if anything, though, I think it might be a good learning experience for the reporter. Because now he's realized it firsthand. It's like, now you can come to our side. Now you realized how evil this is. Because you're being subjected to it too. And you should not be. You deserve to be because of what you did. But you should not be. It's not fair to you either. It's not fair to anyone. Right? So, I called yesterday. I called on a live show yesterday. The Des Moines Register. Because I wanted to test something out. I wanted to see if they would... let me just play it for you. Listen to this. All right, so I'm going to call up the Des Moines Register with a hot tip for a story. There we go.
Des Moines Register, this is Teresa.
Yeah, is this the tip line?
This is the newsroom.
Just the tip line.
Okay,
I have a potential news tip I want to give you guys.
I'm ready.
Okay, so there's a nun from Des Moines who just recently adopted two kids, brought over two kids from Syria, refugees, and brought them in. But I went through her Twitter account, and I saw in 2011, she said something that was pretty offensive, or at least I consider it pretty offensive towards Mexicans.
So why am I doing this, right?
And a lot of people didn't get this. They're like, you're just as bad. I'm like, okay, you missed the whole point, dude. Sorry, this has to be explained to you. So my thing, I'm testing a couple things out here. Number one, will they pursue the story? I took a specifically liberal agenda on this. The Syrian refugee kids, because that's a liberal cause, right? Will they rip apart a liberal in the same way that they ripped apart this kid? Do you see a young white male in Iowa drinking beer? Probably a Trump voter, right? That's why they went after him, let's be honest. Probably a Trump voter. And so they see this. Here I am presenting a same story, essentially. A woman of no particular significance that I know, I'm telling them about, has gotten some positive press for doing a good thing. However, I went through her old tweets, and I found something offensive about Mexicans in 2011. What will she say? Let's find out. So if they're fair, according to the standards of journalism, this should be a story at the Des Moines Register. Let's see if it is.
What's her name?
Her name is Sister Ann Clary.
I'm sorry, can you spell her last name?
Yeah, Sister Ann Cleary. Cleary. And she, like I said, she's doing a nice thing and all by taking these kids in, because they might die in, Syria or whatever. But I can't get over the tweets from 8 years ago. You know what I mean? It's just horrible to see that anybody would speak like that on Twitter about Mexicans. Terrible.
And so how do you feel that connects to her adoption?
Ah, I love that question.
Well, it doesn't.
Don't you love that question right there? How do you feel that connects? That's a great fucking question, Teresa, isn't it? That's a great question. Almost like, how do Carson King's old tweets connect to the fact that he just raised $1.7 million for a children's hospital? Oh, right. It's got nothing to fucking do with it, does it? Literally nothing. So, I mean, the fact that these people can't see this is just truly remarkable. She goes on.
But that's the kind of story you guys do, right? You just see somebody doing something nice, and you decide that you're going to just go through all their old tweets, right?
Now she's going to get defended.
So, is your tip about Sister Ann Claire?
Yeah, it's about her. Yeah, it's about her tweets. The inappropriate things.
Right,
not tweets, like
right?
Recent tweets, like they were like 8 years ago.
Right about
but
8-year-old tweets.
We are still responsible for the things, right? That we said 8 years ago, aren't we?
I think we all have a past.
No, but you guys. You guys just put out a
Can
story.
you believe what she just said? We all have a past, guys. Like, literally. We all have a... That's your policy? We all have a past? How come it wasn't your policy with Carson King? Now all of a sudden it's the policy. Go on.
About that kid that raised all that money for the children's hospital, and then you went through his old tweets, right?
That's the standard journalism practice.
Right.
You do.
Right, no, totally. And so I've done...
So there we go. So now I'm like, I bring her up on her hypocrisy, and she goes, that's the standard journalism, whatever. Standard journalistic practice. The fact that the woman answering the phones at the tip line says standard journalism practice tells me one thing. She was coached to say that. The Des Moines Register is being killed for this. And rightfully so. And they deserve it. And I guarantee there's been big meetings in which they say, hey, this is what you say when people call it, because we're going to get bombarded with calls today. Here's what you say. This is the company line. And she said it. Frauds. Frauds. The shining thing in this, and the thing that gives me hope about this story, is the way the public has responded to it. Literally nobody has defended the Des Moines Register. I have not seen a single person, not one, defend this vile organization of evil people. Not one. So, it gives me hope. Every time they post something now, they're just getting bombarded with ratios, guys, on Twitter and Facebook. Just getting ratioed so hard. And nobody's backing them up. And guess what? They've made $700,000 just yesterday. And other Bush Light ditched them. Anheuser-Busch ditched them. Fuck them. They're the worst part about this. Fuck Anheuser-Busch. They owe this motherfucker an apology. He just got the shittiest beer on earth. So much free advertising. And they fucking ditch him like that. They're the problem. Corporate America's the problem. Gutless advertisers that ditch radio shows because Bob Murchison calls them up. Or advertisers that used to be on Turtleboy that left us because fucking Didi Delgado gave them a phone call. Good. Get the fuck off of Turtleboy. You're not welcome here anymore. Fucking gutless advertisers. They're the problems. The companies that are too fucking dickless to stand up to these fucking evil smear merchant enemy of the people bitch ass pussies. Fuck them. Okay? They're the problem. Fuck Anheuser-Busch. Fuck any company that would fucking cower to the PC mob. I'm so fucking mad right now this story gets me. Okay? So, and guess what? It ain't paying off for them either. Because they just lost a bunch of fucking They look like fucking douchebags right now. Fuck you, Anheuser-Busch. I cannot emphasize that enough. I hope they fucking go out of business. Of course, it's not going to happen to Anheuser-Busch, but fuck them. They deserve it. Fuck them. I said I wouldn't swear, guys, but this one just got me all fired up. All fired up. So boring in my life. I like politics. I follow politics. I'm watching the impeachment stuff. I don't know what the fuck anyone's talking about. I've never seen anything so boring in my life. They're like, how many times have you heard the words quid pro quo today? I don't even know what the fuck that means. I have a master's degree. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. And they're just throwing it out there. Everybody like, oh, is this quid pro quo? Is this not quid pro? What the fuck is quid pro quo? I don't know and I don't care. Good God. Good God, we talked about impeachment the other night. It's like, this is what we're doing now? And the best part about it, guys, the impeachment thing is this. Is that, and I posted this on Facebook today, is that 2 days ago, we were all told that it's a world emergency, climate change. Greta came and lectured us all, right? We ruined her, right? If climate change is really the emergency and the crisis that they make it seem to be, I mean, those are big words, emergency and crisis. You know what an emergency is? My house is burning down. You know what I do when my house is burning down? I stop everything I'm doing and get the fuck out of the house and take my kids with me, right? That's what you do. Nothing else matters. You don't worry about your bills at the time. You don't worry about your shit. You just get the fuck out of there. That's what you do during an emergency. You put out that fire, right? So if climate change is really an emergency and really a crisis, what do? You fucking drop everything and combat climate change. That's it. Nothing else fucking matters. If you're telling the truth. If you really mean this. But of course now we know you don't actually mean it. Why? Because the next fucking day you're on to the next thing, and that's impeachment, right? Have you heard any of them talk about climate change in the last 48 hours? No, you haven't. All they're talking about is impeachment. And that proves that not one of these fucking frauds, not one of them, actually thinks climate change is something to worry about. Not even AOC. I think she's full. I thought she might be the one that actually believes this shit. She don't believe it either. None of them will believe it. None of them. Right? I mean, that's just a fact. They proved themselves to be frauds. They proved themselves to be frauds. So, because they're all in on impeachment. And guess what? When he gets impeached, no, he ain't going to get impeached because they don't have the votes. But if he was impeached, then it means nothing anyway. So you're wasting all your time on this thing, and he's not going to get removed anyway. So what the fuck's the point of this? Like, I thought there was a crisis you guys should be tackling. See what I'm saying? They forgot about kids in cages, all these issues that they're so worried about. They just forget about them. Why? Because of Trump. Because Trump made a phone call in the Ukraine or some shit. I don't know what the fuck any of this is about. Nor do I care. How does this affect anything? Unbelievable, guys. Unbelievable. All right. So, anyway. Is there anything Trump could do that would make you pull your support? Yeah, sure, definitely. He could go to war with Iran. That would piss me off. And that's one thing I like about Trump is that he's not like a Bush Republican. Because let's be honest. So yeah, if he did that, I don't know if the economy was really shit. I don't know. Certainly, or if the Democrats nominated Tulsi Gabbard. Like if the Democrats nominated Tulsi Gabbard, I love Tulsi Gabbard. Every day Tulsi Gabbard says something better than the day before. If they nominated her, I would probably vote for Trump, but I would think long and hard about it because I love Tulsi Gabbard. I think she's awesome. She's really grown on me a lot. I used to be a Yang guy for the left, not anymore. I'm a Tulsi Gabbard guy now. So that's one thing the left could do is nominate somebody normal, but they're not going to. It's going to be Elizabeth Warren. It's done. I hate to tell you guys this. The Democratic primary is over. Elizabeth Warren won it already. Right? In Vegas, she has better odds than the entire rest of the field combined. So there's that. Bristol says the two-party system is the enemy of the people. Wrong, Bristol, and I'll tell you why. Election 1824, look it up. When you have 4 candidates running for office in 4 different parties or whatever, unlimited parties, you know what you get? You get a minority president. You get a president that gets 30% of the vote that 70% of the country didn't vote for, right? That's how you get John Quincy Adams, right? Instead of Andrew Jackson. That's how you get fucked. So, unfortunately, the two-party system is the only way to go. It's not the best system, but you can't have a million parties out there, right? What would be nice, what I would like personally, is if like you were accepted into parties, even though you didn't agree with everything that party said. For instance, wouldn't it be nice to have seen one Democrat, just one, come out and say, yeah, what we're doing to Kavanaugh is kind of wrong here. You know, maybe we shouldn't be going through his yearbook and calling him a rapist when there's no evidence. No. But you have, that's what sucks about party life is that, like, you got to go along with everything, right? Like, there's 20, like, for instance, abortion's a good example right here. I feel like abortion should be an opinion that you have based on your own feelings, your soul, whatever. Right? No matter how you feel about it. It should, like, why is the Republican Party the pro-life party and the Democrats the pro-choice? Why? Why can't there be pro-life Democrats and pro-choice Republicans? See what I'm saying here? Why is that a party issue? Shouldn't there be people on the left who are like, yeah, I'm for universal health care, I'm for immigration reform, I'm for all this stuff, but I'm also against abortion. Right? Wouldn't that be consistent? Wouldn't it be consistent on the right to say, well, you know, I believe in less government intervention in my life, therefore I don't think they should ban abortion. Right? Wouldn't that be consistent? But instead, you just, because you're on this team, you have to go along with everything. Or else, you know what they do? They kick you off the team. Right? You can be in the team, you just can't rise in it. You're certainly not going to get nominated for anything special. Right? You can't imagine we had a pro-life Democratic candidate for president or a pro-choice Republican candidate for president. It'll never happen. It can't happen. You have to go along with everything. So anyway, that's my thoughts on that. A Republican that wasn't in bed with the religious right would be nice. Well, that's what you got with Trump, right? Trump is the sinner. He's like our first Republican sinner, right? Or at least like open sinner. They're all sinners. But like Trump's just like, yeah, I fucked a lot of chicks, right? I did a lot of shit, but like, you know, I went to confession, so, and I pretended to, basically that's why I took Mike Pence on, right? so the evangelicals would get over all the other shit. So anyway, all right, I don't believe that everyone agrees with everything. Yeah, you're right. Not everyone does, and that's a good point, Pineapple. But to rise in the party, you must. That's the big difference, right? You can't be a pro-life Democrat and rise in the parties. There's only so far you can go. You can't be a pro-choice Republican and rise in the party, in the national party at least. You can rise in Massachusetts. If you're pro-choice, you can't do it. It's impossible. And the German system is effective. I don't know much about it, so I'd have to look it up. How do you feel about Charlie Baker's vape ban? It's fucking awful, guys. I've been thinking about this more and more. It's like evil what he did, right? Imagine one day Charlie Baker just said, you know what, guys? The internet is, because of the internet, people are posting death threats and anti-Semitic stuff. And guess what? Jews are getting shot in Pittsburgh. So this is a national emergency. This is a crisis. We need to shut down the internet. Imagine that. Somebody just signed something like no internet. That's what happened. I mean, my business would be destroyed. Just like that. That's what happened to the vaping industry. It's evil what they did to these people. And for what? What for what? Right? For what? The fuck? There was a girl, because one person died from vaping or something in Massachusetts, right? It's like with EEE. And I told my wife this today. She's like, did you know that a girl at Belmont Street Elementary School in Worcester died from choking? I'm like, what? I did not know that. I looked it up. It happened the other day. And nobody fucking knows. She had choked on a carrot, right? And I'm like, should we ban carrots now? Right? I mean, this is the same thing. Why? So one person dies from vaping, one. And everything has to be shut down now? What? So that person's life, what the governor is saying with that, is the person who died from EEE, or not EEE, the person who died from vaping, their life mattered more than the person who died choking. That's what they're saying, essentially doing this. Away, just like that, somebody's ability to make a living. They're just going to lose their entire salary, right? When you quit your job or whatever, you get a severance package or, something. There's something you get on the way out. With this, you're running your own business. It's just like, boom, nothing. You kidding me? It's evil. That's what I think of that. Evil. But they're just fucking evil. Anyway, and the cigarette taxes. I like that a lot from our turtle rider that tried out. I thought that was a great point. That this is like Philip Morris is probably making a shit ton of money off of this. Anyway, any last minute other questions? If you wrote a question and I didn't see it, just feel free to write it again. I'll answer as many as I can. A couple more minutes, then we'll call it a night. Oh, good. One of the store owners suing Baker. Good. Fuck Charlie Baker. I mean, how is this even constitutional? What, the state legislature doesn't vote on it? Are you kidding me? The governor can just sign a piece of paper and boom? Why? What if he did the same to weed, Tibbets. I don't know what you want me to say about Tibbets. I don't know what else there is to say. What was Ryan Waters' case number in courthouse? Probably Palmer District Court, I think. Oh, Chris? Thank you, Chris. I'm not sure what you donated, but I thank you very much for your... Pronounce Illinois for me? It's pronounced Illinois. There we go. Anything else? Oh, I'm glad you like the sweatshirt, Willie Pete. That's great. Does Abrams vote? Probably not. Probably not. Fuck Josh Abrams. What a pussy soy boy. He won't come on with me. He'll go on Bristol. He's afraid of me. Josh is saying someone on Turtleboy is a sex offense. Cool. Show us the documents. Is that Mr. Andrews? Are you Mr. Andrews' son? Lenny? Green. I'm glad you like the Turtleboy hoodie, Ashley. It was nice to meet you the other day, too. Very nice girl. What else are people saying here? Thank you very much, Chris, for your very generous donation. Yeah, we got lots of great shirts. They're all in the Turtleboy store. You guys can get whatever you want in there. Do you think Antifa should be a terrorist organization? Yes, I've made that very clear in several blogs. Right. It's like people are saying, what if he decided that, hey, the way you said Des Moines, I wasn't sure. How did I say it? What did I say? How are you supposed to say Des Moines? You're supposed to say Des Moines? Des Moines? Who knows? XL sold out. Nah, I definitely got a shitload of the zip up ones. We got a lot of the zip up ones. Sharks, fuck Sharks. That's all I got to say about them. No, thank you, Casey. I'll put the long sleeves in the store tomorrow. All right, guys. Des Moines, that's a pronoun. Okay. Where's the link to the store again? There's a link right at the top of every blog we publish where it says shop. Right here. There's also a big thing right there that says Turtleboy Store. And another big thing down here that says Turtleboy Store. You just click on it. Brings you to the store. Boom. Done. Awesome. Hope you like it. All right. Any book signing? Yeah, I mean, I've made myself available a few times. I've only signed a couple books. So, periodically. And we will see you all. Oh, guess what? Tomorrow, I got a special impromptu live. I'm doing probably around, I'll make an announcement around 6-ish, though. It's with my girl, Mindy Robinson. I have an interview with her tomorrow about Bill Pulte. Fuck that guy. Talk about a con artist. So we're going to be doing an impromptu live tomorrow with Mindy. And then on Saturday, we'll have live. And then Sunday, Bristol will be back on. I mean, this is like a full straight week of live. So like every day, we're killing it on here. So anyway, peace, Turtle Riders. We'll see you tomorrow or Saturday or whatever. All right? Peace out.